or they try to.
We're back with Jeff Hruska of Hruska Plumbing for our third segment. In this segment, we want to talk about some of the challenges, potential mistakes you've made, how you learned from them and got past them. So just start us off with a couple of things that maybe you didn't work out, or you would have did differently, or lessons along the way.
At one point, a few years back, we tried. I think what it was is I tried to expand too quickly, and with the fact that you're adding more guys, your bills go up because you're buying more materials and you're doing certain work that.
A couple more trucks.
Yeah, you got more trucks on the road, and
those trucks are not cheap.
No, the
I
trucks.
think by the time you get done outfitting all the tools. And
no, we got approximately 64 tires to care for it. So things like that. The overhead of your business starts to get bigger, and with adding people and trying to do it too rapidly, you don't get the right recipe for the good people you want to do the work you want. Getting back to. With your name on the product, you want to try to oversee. And the more people you got, I can't oversee everybody, and so it was a lesson.
As you go forward, we know you want to grow,
right?
How do you maybe alter that approach to do it a little differently?
Because it's profitability, it's rate and volume,
right?
So you're not. I don't think you can change necessarily your rates,
right?
Although when you start doing some of these other things, the tankless and some of these other, you might have more profitability in those services. But ultimately, I got to think you're going to have to increase volume, huh?
Yeah, and it would just be, instead of what I learned from doing that is, it was just I made the move too fast. So at this point, you learn from the experience. You're more experienced now, and you just do it slower.
Yeah.
At a rate where
So did you guys? You said you got to like 16 guys, or how many?
Yeah, at one point we had about 16 guys.
And where were you? Were you at 11 previously and jumped to 16?
We started out 2 operations and we ended up to 4. Then it became 5, and then it just went from there.
So you went from 5 to 16 pretty quick.
Yes.
And then you dialed it back, and you've worked up to 11 now.
Correct.
In a much more reasonable pace that you can manage, oversee. Build the. I guess some of it is building the confidence in the guys out there, that you have in them and they have in you, that you can kind of let them go and trust them to do their thing.
Right.
But ultimately, my guess is, from a structural standpoint, you're going to need a project manager to be able to pull off that next level of growth. Someone that can go out and
at that point, yes,
inspect what you expect.
Exactly, and help me out overseeing what needs to be done, making sure it's done, the way we want it to be.
Do you have someone that's groomed? I mean, because what I've noticed about you is your brother takes care of the HVAC. You got a brother-in-law that's handling the new construction. So it sounds like you kind of have people that they're tied to you in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Keeps it in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So blood's thicker than water, and their names on it. Are you grooming somebody to be that person to take it to the next level?
At some point, yeah. I'd be comfortable with 2 of my guys right now that could.
We're going to keep them nameless so that they keep hustling. We don't want them getting a big
head.
There's some possibilities here to do it within us, and I would prefer it that way.
Which means you're going to have to get you're probably going to have to get some frontline troops
and I don't mind getting a student from school and grooming them. And teaching them my way.
Sometimes when it's the only way is your way, it's easy then to break bad habits and start new ones. So.
As a mentor of mine said to me when I became a VP,
it's easier to give birth than resurrect the dead.
When I took over, when I moved out to Pittsburgh back 6-7 years ago, and I took over the operation here, he said you're gonna want to save the world and save everybody.
Yeah.
And he goes, but ultimately you got to realize some people are going to get the hell out of Dodge the moment you walk in the door. Right. Some people are going to spend about 3 months and figure it's time to get out of Dodge, and you'll probably have more people at 6 months. But he said, always remember, it's easier to give birth resurrected dead.
That's
You know, so especially I
much
think
truth.
in the trades, as I've grown up to call them, I think there's something to be said about taking someone out of school and teaching them your way.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm very comfortable with that.
Awesome. All right, so some great learning lessons in here. Don't try to grow too fast. I'm going through this with one of my other clients right now, and he's doing the same thing. He's like, Brad, I grew too fast last year. He's in the middle of getting rid of some bad people.
Yeah.
You know, and he's an emotional guy. Like, I don't want to say you're emotional,
Yeah.
but you got a big heart. I
Yeah.
know you got a big heart, and you're the kind of guy that will bend over backwards.
Yeah.
But at one point or another, you got to cut your losses and say it's not working.
It's not working.
And get back because you don't want to spoil what's
Right.
taken 60 odd years to build.
You just got to learn from what you did, and you learn from it. Be
Awesome.
Down the road, you know how to handle the situation if it occurs.
All right, we're going to come back with Jeff, and we're going to talk about his recipe for success. And once again, Hruska Plumbing, 412-461-1515. Get a hold of Debbie. She's there 7:30 to 3:30. She'll get you hooked up, and they will take care of your service needs. If you're a municipality and you're so happen to be watching or listening to this, get a hold of them, outsource some of that work. HVAC, get a hold of Brad, although he's on a beach, but we'll get him back here and get him up and running and take care of HVAC
Plumbing,
needs.
heating, and air conditioning.
Yes.
You got it.
Right.
New
More than
construction,
just the plumbing.
tankless tankless water heaters, you
Nolly's
name
okay
it.
with the specs?
Yeah, we're
We're okay with the technology.
We're good.
Come on back with Jeff.